Disclaimer: this video contains discussions of real criminal cases and sensitive subject matter. It is created for educational and documentary purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Before justice caught up to him, before a discarded smoothie straw changed the direction of a 40-year-old mystery, before science finally spoke louder than fear.
And 3 overturned convictions, but authorities in New York say they have finally arrested the right man who killed a 16-year-old girl back in 1984.
Before we begin, welcome back to the Evidence Room 247, where we uncover the truth behind forgotten cases. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. There was a girl walking home under the quiet glow of Long Island streetlights. A girl who believed she was safe. A girl who didn't know she was being followed. Her name was Theresa Fusco, 16 years old, bright-eyed, soft-spoken, full of dreams that should have carried her years into the future. Instead, her life became the center of one of the most haunting cases New York has ever seen. One that swallowed innocent lives, tore apart families, and left a killer free to walk among everyone who thought they knew him. Before her story became evidence bags and case files, Theresa was simply Terry, the girl with the kind smile and the natural warmth that made people want to be near her. Born in 1968, she grew up in Lynbrook, Long Island, a town where people waved to each other from their front steps and parents let their children roam without fear. Terry loved dancing. She practiced moves in her bedroom mirror until the sun dipped behind the houses. She loved music, the roller rink, and talking about the future. Her friends said she had a sweetness that made her impossible to dislike. Her mother said she brought calm into the house, even on the hardest days. She was responsible, careful, dependable. Terry wasn't someone who took risks. She cared about her family too much to leave them worrying. She worked part-time at Hot Skates, a popular roller rink where kids hung out on weekends. Terry liked the job. She liked the music, the energy, the familiar faces. On November 10, 1984, she finished her shift like she always did. Locked out, grabbed her jacket, and stepped outside into the cold night air. She lived close enough to walk home. It should have been simple, a short route, a quiet night, and a familiar neighborhood. But as she walked beneath the streetlights, something was different, unseen, unfelt, until it was too late. Someone was watching her, someone who had likely watched her before, someone who waited for the exact moment she was alone. When she didn't come home that night, her mother felt a fear she couldn't explain. Terry wasn't the kind of girl who stayed out late or forgot to call. Hours turned into panic. Panic turned into searching. Terry's family and friends combed the streets. Neighbors joined in. Police took the report seriously because everyone who knew Terry said the same thing. She would never disappear on her own. Days passed, then weeks, and with each day, hope slipped further away. A month after she vanished, Terry's body was found in a wooded area behind industrial buildings near the rink. She had been sexually assaulted, beaten, and strangled. Someone had hidden her under leaves and wooden pallets, as if trying to bury the truth. The brutality stunned investigators. It stunned her family. It stunned a town that never imagined a monster living among them. Pressure mounted. The public demanded an arrest. Reporters wanted answers. And fear, true bone, deep fear, took over Lynbrook. That fear became a weapon. Detectives turned their attention to 3 teenage boys, boys who were scared, boys who were interrogated for hours with no lawyers, no parents, and no understanding of what was happening. Eventually, they broke. The statements they gave contradicted each other, contradicted evidence,
contradicted basic facts, but in a climate of panic, their words were treated as confessions. With no DNA, no fingerprints, no physical evidence, and nothing truly tying them to the scene, the boys were still convicted. For nearly 2 decades, the wrong men sat behind the wrong bars while the real killer walked free. Terry's family believed justice had been served. The town believed the nightmare was over, but the truth has a way of resurfacing, especially when science becomes stronger than fear. In the early 2000s, advances in DNA testing transformed old evidence into new answers. Samples from Terry's case were tested again. This time, science gave a clear verdict. The DNA found on Terry's body did not belong to any of the convicted men. They were innocent. Their convictions were based on fear, driven assumptions, pressured statements, and a desperate desire to close the case. They were exonerated. They were freed. They were paid millions for the years stolen from them. But Terry's case was thrust back into the cold. The real killer, still unidentified, had escaped justice for nearly 20 years. For decades, the case sat in silence. Files gathered dust. Detectives retired. Leads faded, but Terry's family never let her memory fade. They kept her picture framed. They kept her story alive. They kept her hope alive. Almost 40 years later, in 2024, Nassau County detectives reopened Terry's case with new forensic techniques, new investigators, and a new reason. The DNA that exonerated the innocent still belonged to someone out there. That someone could still be alive. Investigators began reviewing old records, analyzing overlooked details, and re-examining suspects who had slipped past scrutiny in 1984. One name rose to the surface: Richard Bilodeau. He was 22 at the time of Terry's murder. He lived only blocks away from her home and the rink, and yet, for reasons still unclear, he was never questioned. Detectives placed him under surveillance, quietly, carefully, waiting for the moment they could collect his DNA without him knowing. That moment came one afternoon at a cafe in Suffolk County. Bilodeau ordered a smoothie, drank it slowly, and tossed the cup and straw into a public trash can. Investigators retrieved it within seconds. That straw held the answer that Terry's family had waited 41 years to hear. The DNA extracted from it matched the DNA from Terry's body, completely, precisely, irrefutably. After 4 decades, the truth finally had a face. On October 14, 2025, detectives confronted Bilodeau at his home. When they told him why they were there, he reportedly muttered, "People got away with murder back then." He was arrested, indicted, and charged with second-degree murder and second-degree murder during the course of rape. He pleaded not guilty. He now faces 25 years to life in prison if convicted. For Terry's family, the arrest brought a complicated mix of pain and relief. Relief that science had finally spoken. Relief that someone was finally held accountable. And pain because no arrest, not even after 41 years, can bring Terry back. But it can bring truth, and it can bring acknowledgement that she mattered. Terry was more than a victim. She was a girl who loved dancing, who dreamed of performing, who loved her family, and who believed the world was safe. Her story is not just about tragedy, it's about persistence, about truth, and about the power of science to correct the failures of the past. It is a reminder that no matter how much time passes, justice can still find its way forward. If you believe victims deserve to be remembered, if you believe cold cases deserve answers, if you believe the truth should always win, no matter how long it takes, then subscribe to the Evidence Room 247. Like, comment, and share this story to keep Terry's memory alive. Justice delayed must never become justice denied.